Who are the Rothschilds? Their name is synonymous with immense wealth and power. For centuries, they've been called the world's richest family, a dynasty of bankers who shaped nations and built industries. Their story is about more than money. It's about the birth of modern finance. Rising from a Jewish ghetto to the heights of European society, they became legends. People have long wondered, how did one family accumulate such influence? The answer begins in 18th century Frankfurt, with a father's vision and 5 sons' ambition. They didn't inherit power, they built it, using intelligence, audacity, and an unbreakable family bond. Their network was their strength, their information their weapon. The Rothschilds were innovators, creating a multinational financial empire before the term existed. They operated across borders, loyal only to the family, the House of Rothschild. This unity let them navigate the chaos of European politics and turn crisis into opportunity. Their story is a lesson in building and maintaining power. Today their name is tied to both financial history and conspiracy theories. The mystery persists, but to understand the Rothschilds, we must look past the myth. We'll trace their journey from humble beginnings to global dominance. This is the story of how a family changed the world and mastered the art of money. The rise of the Rothschilds defined an era, and their legacy endures. The story of the Rothschilds begins with Meyer Amschel, born in 1744 in Frankfurt's Jewish ghetto. Life was harsh, but ambition thrived. Meyer learned finance from his father, a money changer. He started dealing in rare coins, which brought him into contact with wealthy patrons like Crown Prince Wilhelm of Hesse. Meyer's honesty earned him the prince's trust, and his first step into high finance. Meyer saw a path to something greater. He dreamed of a dynasty. With his wife Gutli, he had 10 children, including 5 sons who would become the pillars of his empire. Meyer taught his sons everything about finance and unity. He insisted the family act as one, making unity the core of their strategy. This became their secret to success. Meyer laid the groundwork in Frankfurt, building a system based on trust and market insight. He understood that information and relationships were as valuable as gold. Operating from a house marked with a red shield, Rothschild in German, he gave the family its name. From this humble home, a global financial power would emerge. Meyer's vision was about creating a legacy. He set the stage for a family that would reshape the world. The red shield became a symbol of ambition. Meyer's teachings would guide his sons as they set out to conquer Europe's financial world. The Rothschild legacy began with a single vision. From the ghetto, Meyer Amschel Rothschild launched a dynasty. Meyer Amschel Rothschild planned to send each son to a major European capital. His goal was to establish branches of the family bank. The 5 sons became his eyes and ears, forming an unparalleled network across the continent. Like 5 arrows, they were unbreakable together. This strategy created the first truly international bank, transcending borders. Amschel Meyer stayed in Frankfurt, Nathan went to London, Salomon set up in Vienna, Karl in Naples, and James in Paris. Each brother became a vital node in a continental web, sharing intelligence. Their private courier system was faster than any government's, giving them a critical edge. They could move money and information across Europe with unprecedented speed. The 5 branches operated as one entity, united by family loyalty. In London, Nathan dominated the financial market. In Paris, James financed railways. Salomon was Austria's key financier, while Karl and Amschel solidified control in Naples and Frankfurt. The Rothschild network flourished, holding the purse strings of Europe. The family's unity and strategy set them apart from all rivals. Meyer's vision had become reality. A family from the Frankfurt ghetto now shaped the destiny of nations. The Rothschilds had built a financial empire that spanned the continent. The age of the Rothschilds had begun. The Napoleonic Wars brought chaos to Europe, and opportunity to the Rothschilds. Wars needed money, and the Rothschilds were ready to provide it. Their international network could move gold and credit across enemy lines when no one else could. Nathan Meyer Rothschild in London became the primary banker for the British government. His task financed Wellington's army against Napoleon. Direct shipment of gold was impossible, but Nathan used the family network to buy gold and bonds across Europe, smuggling funds through France. It was risky, but it worked. Nathan sustained Wellington's campaign. The climax came at Waterloo in 1815. Nathan received news of Napoleon's defeat before the British government. Legend says he used this knowledge to profit on the stock exchange, but the truth is more nuanced. He bet on a British victory, buying government bonds. This event cemented the Rothschild legend, their information advantage and willingness to take bold risks. The Waterloo story became a symbol of their power. They didn't just finance the war, they profited from its outcome. After Napoleon's fall, the Rothschilds were more than bankers. They were a European power. They proved that finance could be as decisive as armies. Their reputation soared, and so did their influence. The Napoleonic Wars transformed the Rothschilds into legends. Their mastery of information and risk set them apart. The family's rise was unstoppable. The Rothschilds had turned war into opportunity and emerged victorious. The Rothschilds understood that in finance, information is more valuable than gold. Their network of 5 brothers was the engine, but their reach extended further. They employed agents, clerks, and couriers in every major European city. These agents gathered political news, commercial data, and market gossip. Information traveled through a private courier service faster than any government post. Coded messages kept their secrets safe. A decision in Vienna could be known in London within days, giving them a crucial head start. They could anticipate market movements and act before anyone else. Their correspondence was filled with detailed analysis, everything from monarchs' health to harvests and wars. This constant exchange allowed them to see the big picture. Their financial decisions were based on superior intelligence, not luck. Governments and monarchs relied on the Rothschilds for both money and information. The family became indispensable advisors, offering insights no ambassador could match. Their dual role as financiers and informants cemented their power. They weren't just lending money, they were selling certainty in an uncertain world. For that, kings and ministers paid a high price. The Rothschilds mastered the art of information. It was their greatest asset. After the Napoleonic Wars, Europe entered an age of reconstruction and industrialization. The Rothschilds became bankers to the great powers, stabilizing currencies and funding governments. They were no longer just private bankers, they were pillars of the European state system. In Austria, Salomon Rothschild financed the Habsburg Empire's debt and industry. In France, James de Rothschild built railways and advised kings. In Britain, Nathan and Lionel managed the Bank of England's finances and funded imperial expansion. Their power was on display in 1875 when Lionel de Rothschild raised £4 million in hours to help Britain buy the Suez Canal shares. The Rothschilds secured a key asset for the British Empire. They also helped create and stabilize new nations, financing Brazil's independence and Belgium's creation. By lending to governments, they gained immense political leverage. They could influence policy and promote stability, good for business and for Europe. The Rothschilds were not just bankers, they were state builders and architects of the 19th century financial order. Their name became a global guarantee of stability and creditworthiness. Their influence shaped the modern world. The House of Rothschild was at the center of it all. Their legacy was secure. The Rothschilds' rise was built on secrecy, private dealings, coded messages, and strict family rules. Only male family members held key positions, and marriages were arranged to keep wealth within the family. This secrecy protected their information advantage and allowed them to move quickly. It created an aura of mystery and invincibility. But secrecy was a double-edged sword. The public saw their privacy as sinister, fueling suspicion and conspiracy. People couldn't understand how a small Jewish family gained such power. Their lack of transparency bred mistrust and resentment. Anti-Semitism made them targets for wild accusations, market manipulation, war profiteering, and more. Pamphlets and cartoons depicted them as shadowy puppeteers. The secrecy that built their empire now made them vulnerable. Myths and rumors grew in the shadows. The Rothschilds became symbols of both power and paranoia. Their legacy was forever entwined with myth. The Rothschilds' power attracted controversy and conspiracy theories, much of it rooted in anti-Semitism. As a successful Jewish family in Christian Europe, they were easy targets for prejudice. Myths twisted their internationalism into a plot for global domination. The Waterloo legend was exaggerated into a story of cold-blooded deception. Critics claimed they funded both sides of wars, but the Rothschilds thrived on stability, not chaos. Their influence made people uneasy. Unelected bankers wielding power over governments, they became symbols of capitalism's excesses, blamed for society's anxieties. The reality: they were brilliant, ruthless financiers, not all-powerful conspirators. The controversies reveal as much about 19th century fears as about the family itself. The shadow of myth was the price of their success. The 20th century changed everything for the Rothschilds. Nation-states, world wars, and central banks eroded their unique position. The Nazi regime confiscated their Austrian assets, and the old family-run model faded. The five branches drifted apart, some closed forever. Yet the Rothschild legacy endures. The British and French branches remain major players in global finance, now focused on corporate deals and wealth management. The name Rothschild still stands for expertise and discretion. Beyond finance, the family's legacy includes art, architecture, philanthropy, and world-famous vineyards. They funded hospitals, research, and built cultural landmarks. Today, their name evokes both power and myth. Conspiracy theories persist, but the real story is one of transformation. From a ghetto to global influence, the Rothschilds pioneered international finance and built a dynasty that has lasted over 250 years. The House of Rothschild remains a monument to ambition, innovation, and unity.